this morning, it shows that now if more effort is put into getting those traffickers, then a big number of children on the streets will be eliminated. You can be part of the topic of discussion. Simply use the number 0709 60 25 92 and send me a text message or a WhatsApp message. Please don't call on that number. I don't receive calls in this program. I only read WhatsApp messages and text messages. So just do that and I'll gladly read out your message for my guest to discuss. The issue is dealing with the street children menace in Kampala city. This doesn't make our city very attractive, and sometimes it is also not very safe when we have these kids. A kid can follow you from one street to the other. And brother, even if you never wanted to give a penny, you're forced to give a penny so that you buy your freedom. It's not all about the willingness to give, but you're forced so that you buy your freedom. And we've had some of them even knocked by vehicles. We've had some of them raped where they sleep. There's so much danger, and we are looking at how best we can address this. And actually, when you look on the streets, very few actually are from urban centers. Majority of them are from Napak, just like you said, and the traffickers. But let's go back to, yes, this seems a very permanent solution. But, Director, most of the times these are one-off. Why? Are you budget constrained? What's the problem? But now we had this when NAM was coming. Of course, we had visitors. I don't know when next we shall have a very big forum, international gathering, that again we shall go back. You're not consistent at all. Yet we believe with consistency. Even the children themselves will know that the streets are not safe. But when you take months and months, at least you give, and this creates doubt in people. Because you say you have a very good enforcement team. Like you never let the traders rest. You know, these vendors and all that, day in, day out. But this is something you do and completely relax. Then after something, you come up, and in this period, you've washed and placed in dust. Because there is more. As 88 in Luzira, now they know that you're going to take some good money. Someone can make some good money.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chiraba. I think before I dive into your question, I was very interested when you said that when you are in a car, you're forced to give this child something, and then you go. Of course,
you buy your freedom.
You buy your freedom. Of course, these children have over time become very dangerous on the streets. They walk with acid. Somebody can use them to pour acid on anyone, to endanger anyone in their car. They recently started moving with the poo offices in Buvera. They can throw on your car.
If
but
you
don't give money. But I only mentioned about prosecuting the traffickers. But our child protection ordinance also demands that any person that gives or provides comfort for these children on the street will also be prosecuted. Yes.
Director, let's go slow on this issue.
Yes.
I commit an offense.
When you give this child money, when you give this child bread, when you give this child anything while they're on the street, you'll be prosecuted and you'll be charged for 6 months in Luzira. Yes.
My viewer, please do not fall prey to that. 6 months in Luzira for giving money, giving bread, giving drinks.
This has been published. This has been announced. We have had community and public sensitization on this over time. Our people sometimes are not very good at reading these books. They are not able to know. But we've gone ahead to publish and mention to the population that this is not right. And anyone that is seen giving money at whatever level, whether the money is dashed out from a government vehicle, whether it's me, that government official is going to be charged for 6 months in Luzira. That is what the Child Protection Ordinance dictates.
And I buy into that, because if we make these streets not very comfortable, I've interacted with a number of these street children. I'm a born-again Christian. I serve the living God, and I'm very proud of that. Now, in church, we have a number of programs. And one of the programs was focusing on street children. And this one wasn't from Napak, but within the central region. And they said, no, Nkola sente. Said, but how do you make money? He said, no, you people, you can follow a tourist and he'll give you $100. Said, what? You follow, you make it very nagging from street to street, and someone will have to buy their piece.
Yeah, anyone that supports those children to
So
be
if you make
comfortable
the
in the
streets
street,
very hospitable to them, then they'll find it very hard to leave the streets.
they will find it very hard. And even there is also something called peer pressure from their age mates. And if you're youth and you bring another child or another youth on the street and you are below the age, there is also what we call the juvenile court. We are able to get those children that are underage, and they are also prosecuted through the children's court, which you can call the juvenile court, because anybody that makes these children comfortable should really be charged according to the KCCA child protection policy. Now, getting back to the issue,
just a simple reminder. Now, I just want to ask my technical team to please display the number through which someone can send us a WhatsApp or text message. The number is 0709 60 25 92. Please have that number on the screen so that our viewers can be able to participate in this topic of discussion as we look for solutions to the issue of street children in Kampala. These kids are now even moving to areas you never expected them. I had never expected to see street children in Machindi. But recently, when you installed the traffic lights, we have an influx. Shops that would close and
I had concluded that to get onto your question about budgets. The budgets are usually never enough. The allocations are not enough because these are anticipated budgets, and the problem comes based on different circumstances. You cited the issue of NAM and how we were very active during NAM, but I just want to say that maybe we usually do not have an opportunity to come and mention that this is because it is an ongoing activity. This is an ongoing activity, but also we need to reflect on NAM, that NAM came in January, just after the festive season. So during the festive season, we have so many children that are now trafficked from the rural centers and the different parts of Uganda into the city because people give during the festive season. So the numbers were huge from December. So by January, before we dived into NAM, the numbers were really big. It is a good season. People give out items, give out clothes. It is a giving mood. Everybody donates what they can. And because NAM was just after the festive season, we got the numbers very high. But also to mention that anything to do with budgets and anticipation of budgets for government usually require different stakeholders to supplement on the government efforts, because usually the government funds are not enough, and particularly for the street children, the numbers we got were much more than what we anticipated, and we had to rescue them through now a civil society organization, that is Masulita Children's Home. Masulita Children's Home's capacity was to host between 200 and 300 street children. But now we gave Masulita over 1,000 children. Masulita was also constrained. So we had to mobilize other institutions. We had to mobilize Ministry of Disaster Management, mobilizing the UN, mobilizing Uganda Red Cross and other civil society institutions to come on board and support us in terms of food. KCCA bought food, but the food wasn't enough is not enough to take these children through the season until they are all completely rehabilitated and settled. They are materials that the home requires. Mattresses, blankets. Of course, a few of the children, like you said, they are rich. They came with, they had money. And some of them had even mattresses and blankets to use while they are there. When they were rescued, some of them had their luggage with them. But most of them, especially the young ones, 10 years and below, have nothing to sleep on. Masulita Children's Home did what they could. Some institutions, like I mentioned, gave us some blankets. Yesterday, we had an institution called Local Coalition Accelerators, which gave us 200 mattresses and 150 blankets. And we are, of course, expecting other institutions to come on board and help. The budgets are usually not enough, and our cry is always to ensure that community services are prioritized by government. People don't know that there is a huge program called community services in the city, because they think the city is about revenue, taxes. They think the city is about traffic lights and roads. But we have a whole community that lives and resides in the city that requires these services to come on board. And we can't have our people in the city comfortable, and we can't have a smart city if we do not have sufficient funds to take care of some of these issues of taking off children from the street, but also adults who beg and who do nothing. We have had an issue of adults who come to expose their health issues, those who want to seek for funds to get to hospitals, to be operated on some conditions, and they are all moving around town. And this is Kampala population. Population during day and population during night is very, very vital to consider while we are planning for the city. For us to be able to have a smart
sorry
city.
to cut you short. I must go for a short break. And when I return, I'll look at some of the messages that are coming in. Please send them, text messages and WhatsApp messages. That is the number on your screen, 0709 60 25 92. We are looking at how best we can tackle and end the influx of street children on the streets of our city. We return shortly after this break.
So as national children also
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour fog?
Yes, we packed.
It will protect your skin from skin rashes.
Move it back.
It is a new improved Morbid Harbour jelly, so soft and smooth.
It is a Morbid Harbour jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Harbour Jelly and Harbour Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
The energy of this land comes to life in dreams and memories. It lights up in these nights and leads us to new horizons. It pushes us to go further and see bigger. The energy of this land comes from here. It comes from Africa, and it vibrates in each of us.
Empowered by Africa.
Oryx Lubricants, powered by Africa.
Welcome to Dade Nursery and Primary School, Luzira, a school that gives your child a positive learning environment that makes them feel comfortable and safe. We are a progressive year-round nursery and primary school, providing a child-centered approach to early learning, collaborative family atmosphere, and a safe, inspiring environment that encourages exploration and creativity. Dade Nursery and Primary School offers a wide range of co-curricular activities that promote teamwork, physical and mental development, including ballet, soccer, basketball, piano, and home economics. Admissions are in progress from baby class to P7, starting from the 8th of January to the 5th of February 2024. Find us at the first left turn after Oryx Service Station towards Luzira.
Welcome everyone to the biggest game on the continent.
And you have to, you've got to just seize those moments and enjoy them as much as you possibly can.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Thank you so much for being with us and welcome back from that short break. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonitono, and with me I have the director, that is Gender, Community Services and Production, Kampala Capital City Authority, and that is Madam Sheila Birungi Gandhi, with whom we are discussing the issue of street children. How best can we deal with it? I promised you that once I'm back, I'll be looking at some of your messages. I want to thank you so much for this feedback. There are quite many. I hope time allows us to handle them, but I appreciate everybody that is watching, and you've taken time to type that message. Thank you so very much. Now, let's begin with Good Morning Uganda. The issue of street has been talked about. Please, leaders need to come together to solve it, cause that tomorrow's pillars are wasted. I'm Asaba James in Fort Portal City, one of the cities that I love so much. When I was in Fort Portal, I didn't see street children. I don't know why you kept them during my stay there at Shaba, but I failed to get any there. Now, thank you, UBC. I am Caesar from Arua. In Uganda, certain churches organize street preaching. It is also offensive to preach to these kids and try to remind them of orphanage like some churches do. We have had cases where street preachers are charged with child trafficking. Well, then, Good Morning Uganda. I don't know who is fooling who in Uganda. They pass laws and not implement them. Madam, sits in their comfort zone. Officers then come to TV stations to confuse the community. Some people come and supply food and drinks to those street kids around Mukwano Electoral Commission traffic lights on Ginger Road in broad day, in presence of police, but no action taken. Well, you have the right person just pushing that question too. I didn't get your name, but thank you. I am Willie from Mutungo, and I think one of the major causes of street children is violence and child abuse at their home. Let's first end messages here, because as they're flowing in, I may find it hard to read them. Hello, this is Antipas Guy Denk. How can culture and social attitudes towards street children in Kampala be transformed to promote empathy and understanding? Now, I don't know if the director agrees with you. We need empathy and understanding. Denk. Okay. Yeah. Please, let's keep them short. Kindly make this message short. Thank you for the show. I thank that guest for the good initiatives, but with due respect, the approach of getting street kids off the street is only a quick fix. I think a permanent solution should speak to the why kids get to the streets. We should be working with government, civil society organizations, and all stakeholders to fix issues like family breakdowns, gender-based violence, too much poverty, and other causes of the problem. Only then shall we be able to solve this. Peter from Kamuli District. Please, let's not call on this line. And thank you for the good program. William is my name. What is the plan for adult beggars on streets who act as role models to innocent children? That's why I hate those adult beggars. I agree with the policy to prosecute those who give anything on the streets as they encourage the vice. Could the police too be trained on how to lure these children other than arresting them as criminals? That is William. Moving on. KCS should place billboards in and around Kampala to inform new entrants that it is illegal to help street kids in Kampala. Otherwise, innocent sympathizers shall be prosecuted. Secondly, public should regularly be sensitized on TVs and radio stations nationally and internationally. It is actually the only vehicle that goes against biblical teachings about love. the only vague law that goes against biblical teachings about love. Oh, time seems to be flying. I would have loved to read more of these messages, but good morning, Uganda, Madam Director. Being aware that these children have been earning from the streets, what do you have to convince these children to leave the streets? Kelly, thank you for your message. Good morning. The KCCA has outlawed donations and any other type of giving to street children. Has KCCA created structured, formal ways of donating? If I want to donate, what do I do? Thank you, Ronald. We won't give, but how can we give in an organized manner? Let them come and tell us about that child trafficking thing, because I believe some of us need to be educated about this. These children need psychological support, not scaring them with prison things. I am Cho Saba in Hoima City. For us, we don't have any and only find them in Kampala. Yes, you're speaking the truth. I was there. And the last one, for now, please. Watching UTV. We are Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC TV. And initiative to clear the Kampala streets of street children. On several occasions, I have watched how the street children harass foreigners on Kampala streets and feel so bad for our country. The children need rehabilitation and an opportunity to be in school rather than the public giving them money. They should take the money to the stakeholders who are helping rehabilitating them. People who enable the street children to remain on the streets should be charged in the courts of law. We need beautiful cities and towns in Uganda. For now, let's end at that, please. If the director can go through them quickly, we still have a lot of messages coming in. Let's just try and see if time will
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chirabo. First of all, I want to appreciate the people that have been able to watch us on UBC and for the messages. These are very brilliant citizens of this country. I can't believe the kind of messages they are sending through. They are very, very nice messages, and they are able to bring out very good issues. Now, I first of all want to, I will jargon through the questions, not remembering who asked what, but going to the issue why these children come from their homes. First of all, I mentioned earlier that these children come from very disadvantaged households in some parts of the regions in Uganda, and those districts are known districts, NEPAC, mentioning but a few. Now, they come from disadvantaged households because they are not able to get the basic requirements like they are mentioning. They are not able to feed well, they don't have a program to go to school, probably the access to education, the schools are very far away for them to be able to move, and the households' incomes are very low. They are not able to meet the requirements for these children. So the child is used as a source of income to just let the child get into the hands of the trafficker to bring them on the streets to get the money. But we also have families that are able, which are able to take their children to school, which are able to take care of these children, but we have issues to do with domestic violence. Partners, wife works probably in a big institution, in a bank, and maybe the husband works in another civil society institution or UN, I'm just giving examples, and they have violence in the home. We have had stories where children mention that if mommy and daddy are home, I have to sleep out because they are ever quarreling or they come back drunk. So they are not able to be at home. We also have this issue of the working parents, issues to do with incomes and economic enhancement for households. And parents are working up country, they are working in different places of the country. Children stay at home with relatives, with the housekeepers, real close relatives to the parents, and these children are harassed, sexually harassed, they are violated, they are beaten. We have had cases of housemates beating these children and all forms of harassment. So these are some of the few reasons that I'm mentioning in the interest of time. So when these children come on the streets, the institutions that we are working with have technical staff, and these institutions take them through series of rehabilitation rehabilitation experience while they are in these homes. And the ultimate motive is to take care of their psychosocial well-being, is to ensure that we do enough sensitization to the communities, ensure we do reforms, we do resettlement, and join the child to their family if the families are able to receive them back, to caution the children, speak about the juvenile delinquencies, and also have other sessions within the children's courts to speak to these children to come back to their families. And why are we doing this? Because we want to transform these children into a better child that can be modeled into something better. For the youth, somebody asked what do we plan for these children? We plan for the children to be resettled back to their homes and join into formal education, into UPE schools, into other forms of support at the district level. But also for the others, like the youths, we are sorting them to be able to attach them to vocational skills centers, to attach them to artisanship, where they are able to get into skilling, they are able to be trained by artisans into different vocational skills, which they can involve into and then improve on the incomes for themselves and the youth, but also be able to support their families. Another writer spoke about very good issue of adult beggars versus police. Adult beggars include people who are disabled, people who are mentally ill, and also people who are just disadvantaged, probably with ill health on the street. So this is a very big problem, and also, like you're mentioning, a very troublesome group to deal with, because this is a normal adult that sits into a kiosk to sell water or soda. Once they don't get money during the day, then they go and sit on the streets to beg. But oftentimes, KCCA with its enforcement team has been getting these people off the streets. For the children, we rescue. For the adults, we get these adults with ill health and take them back to Mulago. We have enforcement. Why we use enforcement, and enforcement sometimes applies a little bit of force, is because these people are not easy to deal with. Some of them are intoxicated with drugs. A lot of abusive behavior on the street. Some of them have taken drugs, so you must have somebody who is trained to work with you and then be able to get off this adult. Police, yes, police works with us, but I wouldn't really say 100% that probably they are not compromised to leave some people on the street. I wouldn't talk about that, because we have also information that sometimes government officials, like those that are supposed to get them off the street, are compromised. But like I mentioned, we have very good programs not are just mentioned about, but which are working apparently. The stockholders engagement is using all the highest offices in police and the other uniforms. Army, police, everyone, law enforcement officers from different institutions, civil society, everyone you can think about. It is a huge platform of different stakeholders for us to work together and disseminate the information. We recently did something for our brother from Arua. We had a community awareness and sensitization workshop with bus owners coming from those districts that we have identified, to speak about them, to work with us and stop ferrying these children to Kampala. And these bus owners have been able to help us to rescue along the way. Children that board on the bus, they are deposited at the next police station. If you board a bus from Arua, I'm forgetting the next police station from Arua town, but the next town which has a police station, these children are deposited, and we have a trail of communication networks where we communicate and we ensure that these children are disseminated back to the districts.
Maybe a quick one. I think this came in from Kelly. He says, this is an interesting dialogue. My question as a follower, it's better to first sensitize the people in Karamoja because there are other recruiters. Once that doesn't happen, the street children will keep being on the streets of Kampala, so that the parents where they're coming from to be told that this is modern day slavery that you're pushing your child to.
Now, backwards, KCCA is working with a very big force of the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development for Uganda. Ministry of Gender has a very holistic and comprehensive program of awareness creation, and we have centers in in Karamoja, we have a very good center in that particular district in Nepak, where the ministry has social workers and has housed the technical people who speak to the different district officials, and then the messages are cascaded down to the communities. It is a huge program by the Ministry of Gender, and this sensitization have been taking place for quite many years. But like I mentioned, they are looking for greener pastures, and somebody is behind this by putting in money to go and traffic. So this is the most dangerous person we have. And why these children are not in other cities? Kampala is a city. Other cities have come on board, but Kampala has the population, has the people with the money. It is the capital city. It has the biggest number of foreign investors and the biggest number of anybody that you can call rich. The other cities are not as active in terms of the business activity like Kampala city. So that's why we have. But I've been to cities like Jinja City. I've been to Mbali City. There are few scanted street children, but the difference is that those street children come to be on the streets during the day and they get back home in the night, but they are there, although these are coming from homes, but they are not as big as the city. So the city is always different in terms of hosting the income activities.
Now, briefly, let's look at those that are coming in from text messages. I'll be very fast. This one says, hello, for me that children should be helped by government. I am Gloria from Buko district. Thank you so much, Gloria. We have good morning to you. Thanks for the show. Has government set up some buildings to accommodate those street kids? Any other thing is, I'm a nurse, and let's say I have worked with Idon and I meet a street kid with an injury and decide to help. Is it a crime too? This is a nurse and she has moved with iodine and she meets a street child with a wound. Is it a crime to help? Good morning. Those parents for children are poor and cannot afford even paying a note at school. So government stand. This is Radish from Bushen, where I didn't get you properly. Good morning, Uganda. The people are not helping children by resettling them. Make the life of those at home better, and that can attract them to go back home. Alita Mary Grace from Napak. Oh, well, we have one from Napak here. Thank you for watching. Good morning, Uganda. I'm Alinda Ronald. Adult beggars help on inducing the street kids. And please don't call, it's hard to read while you're calling. I thank STA for the efforts to rid the city streets of children. Why don't we devise measures of blocking children trafficking from the source? What about the street preachers? Isu Bukaru Frederick Serere. Let's look at how we fight the vice there. Then thank you for the program. How can you see that these children leave the streets? I'm JB from Katamara, Kigumba, Chiriandongo. Or even the text messages are so many. Time is against us. Let's just have
a few of them.
Match them as
yes,
we move
I've been
out
looking through those that I've not mentioned about, like the lady who mentioned about nursing a child who is sick on the street. This we have in every place we have short distances from one place to another with police stations, and in police we have a child protection desk. We have a child and family desk at police where we advise everybody who is taking care of these children in one way or another to report to that child protection desk to avoid issues like issues of prosecution. And the issue of making the children's home comfortable where they're coming from. First of all, we need to all appreciate that there are government programs that we need to embrace as a population, as Uganda. Government programs ranging from economic empowerment programs that are given in different districts. The region of Karamoja has had even a special program in Karamoja to ensure income enhancement, economic well-being. There was NUSAF. There were so many programs. We apparently know that we have UPE and USE in every area area of this country. And if this child, and we have also seen children doing well and progressing through this arrangement, through these UPE schools, and they are coming out with very good performances to excel into other areas of education. So we basically call upon the population of Uganda to embrace government programs. If there is an agricultural program, NADS, coming in place, or any other program, please, let's embrace these programs, because all these programs, NADS, we have programs like Emioga, we have programs like what is this program? I'm forgetting it. Famous.
The youth livelihood.
The youth livelihood.
PDM.
We have the UWEP, the PDM. So many programs that are put in place to ensure that we boost the incomes of these households. But we also have a lot of institutions that are also supplementing on government incomes. And when you speak to them, they are also equally feeding into the national development plans of Uganda to be able to do programs that have guidelines and also policies by the countries. So we call upon our population to embrace the
finally,
programs. Yes.
Someone says, thanks for the program. I'm really interested and enjoying myself. Madam, why don't you arrest the parents who surrender their children to the city?
Now we
work with government, those in the park.
Yes,
arrest them at the village.
We are working backwards.
Come for you.
We are working backwards with the relevant authorities back in the park and the entire Karamoja region. And our rescue team within the city, stakeholders engagement team, has also representatives, including members of parliament from those areas. And these members of parliament that we have put on board are very awesome. They are very, very passionate about their region, and they are passionate why their sisters and brothers are coming on street in those big numbers. So we have also programs those other side. But I must also appreciate from the writers that I think we need to put a lot of efforts in community sensitization and public awareness. I tap into the advice of putting awareness messages on billboards, which can reach many readers, populations that move on taxis. We have more programs that we've been doing, like communication messages about the same on taxis, putting their stickers. We are working with different forums to disseminate messages through music, dance, and drama. We are doing a lot of communication, but communication is communication, and communication all the time.
Well, we must get out of here. I want to thank you so much for your time, and of course my viewers, my bosses, thank you so much for being with us right from 6:30 till now, when we've come to the end of the extra. Abraham from Mbale, thank you so much for your message, and many others, those that I couldn't read, but really appreciate your feedback, and we don't take it for granted. Yes, as we get out, anything?
Can we thank some people?
Briefly, please.
Briefly, I would like to first of all thank the stakeholders engagement team, led by KCCA, and we also have the police. We have our team in Masuli, a children's village, the CEO Jolie, Madam Jolie, and your team. We want to thank you so much for the support. We want to recognize the institutions that have supported us: Dwelling Places, Children at Risk, Red Cross, the Local Coalition Accelerator, and many more. We want to thank the Ministry of Gender for the support and the funds. We want to thank the districts in Nepak, Moroto, and all those other districts. And we want to thank the sister directorates in KCCA who have supported us to ensure that we rescue these children. We want to thank government of Uganda and the president. He mentioned that when you leave the children on the street, you are mistreating them. He is very passionate about this, and he does not want to see children on the street. And we promise the people of Uganda that this problem is ending with the smart city. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Madam Sheila Birungi Gandhi, who is the Director, Gender, Community Services and Production, Kampala Capital Authority. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And our viewers, see you tomorrow, God willing. Have a lovely, let's together fight street kids. Don't be a victim of giving or enabling that child to be on the street. And for the traffickers, you're also parents. That is very selfish of you. It is something you should stop before the law nabs you. Good morning.